So I've been wanting to talk about the Barcelona protest for a few days now, but that whole GQ thing happened, so it really took my attention away from it for a little bit. But here we are with an article coming to us from the BBC News. Catalonia protest marches and general strike paralyzed Barcelona. Let's press play on this. And now you see why I wanted to talk about it. All right. Fresh clashes between riot police and protesters have broken out in Barcelona amid anger over the jailing of Catalan separatist leaders. A general strike was announced, and 5 huge marches, all peaceful, converged on the city center, bringing the streets to a standstill. Police estimated that more than 500,000 people had joined Friday's rallies. Oh my goodness. Protesters also blocked a motorway on the Spain-France border, causing huge tailbacks. There were 17 arrests across the region on Friday, Spanish newspaper El País reported, and 62 people were injured, 41 of them in Barcelona. Catalina regional leader Quim Torra thanked those who had demonstrated peacefully and criticized the rioters. There's more demonstrations right here. So these are just the demonstrators as opposed to the rioters. People going nuts. So apparently, they want their independence. Are they a part of the EU or something? He said the sentences handed down to separatist leaders would not deter the campaign for independence. We'll return to the ballot box again on self-determination, he said. Jail terms revived Catalonia's territorial crisis. Catalina crisis in 300 words. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry, guys. Speaking in Brussels, acting Prime Minister, it's the morning, Pedro Sanchez warned that those who caused disturbances would face justice. There was no space for impunity in retaliation to the serious acts of violence we have witnessed over recent days in different cities in Catalonia, he said. Fernando Grande Marlaska, Spain's acting interior minister, said there had been nearly 130 arrests since trouble broke out across Catalonia 5 days ago. He warned that rioters faced up to 6 years in prison. What is the latest? Mass protesters confronted officers near the National Police Headquarters in Barcelona late on Friday, throwing stones and cans at the lines of officers in riot gear. Rubbish bins were dragged into the streets and set alight. Set ablaze, set alight. Okay, whatever. Your article. I didn't even. Who wrote this? Oh no, this is just a random BBC article. Okay, guys. Police responded with tear gas, rubber bullets, and water cannons, reports said. Yes, them just, they wildin'. Further north, Catalan police closed the motorway at El Junquera on the French border as about 200 protesters occupied the road. Demonstrators blocked at least 20 major roads across the region, reports said. Earlier, Barcelona's Sagrada Familia Church, one of the city's main tourist attractions, was closed after protesters blocked its entrance. In a statement posted on its official Twitter account, the church said a group of protesters was standing at the entrance and interfering with access to the interior. Meanwhile, Barcelona and Real Madrid football teams postponed the match they were due to play on the 26th of October. Oh man, if they're canceling soccer matches, that's how you know is really real. The famous Spanish rivals had been set to meet in El Clásico, a hugely popular fixture due to be held at Barcelona Stadium, but postponed it because of fears of civil unrest. Why are people protesting? The Supreme Court decision on Monday to jail 9 Catalan separatist leaders for between 9 and 13 years set off some of the worst street violence Spain has seen for decades. At least 96 people were hurt as the protests spread across Spain's northeastern region. The separatists were convinced of sedition over their role in convicted of sedition over their role in a 2017 referendum outlawed by the Spanish courts and a subsequent declaration of independence. Another 3 were found guilty of disobedience and fined but not jailed. All 12 defendants denied the charges. Former Catalan President Carles is still wanted by the Spanish authorities for his role in the referendum. He currently resides in Belgium. If he returns to Spain, he will be arrested. What's behind the Catalonian unrest? Catalan nationalists have long complained that their region, which has a district history dating back almost 1,000 years, sends too much money to power parts of Spain via taxes, which are controlled by Madrid. The wealthy region is home to about 7.5 million people with their own language, parliament, flag, and anthem. Okay, so if you want a modern equivalent, it kind of feels like the Hong Kong thing, where, they are their own people, they're their own region, and it's not being respected by those around them, because, they got their hand in their pocket. Catalonia's quarrel with Spain explained. In September, a march in Barcelona in support of Catalonia's independence from Spain drew crowds of about 600,000 people, one of the lowest turnouts in the 8-year history of the annual rally. Oh, that's low. And let's go to this one right quick. Alright, so Catalonia's bid for independence from Spain explained. The crisis first flared on October 2017 when a banned independence referendum was met with a heavy police crackdown. Madrid imposed direct rule on the region shortly after. It is the country's biggest political crisis since democracy was restored in 1975 after the death of military dictator General Francisco Franco. And we've gone into the whole, they're wealthy and they just want their independence. So, but they have people who have their hands in their pockets. It's sort of like if New Jersey, right, wanted to separate from the rest of the United States, something that I consider completely impossible. A better example is California. California is so intrinsically tied to the United States that I'm telling you, it's one of those things that I don't think can happen. But let's say they wanted it and they decided to get violent about it and everything else like that. That's sort of what's going on here with here in Spain, and in many ways over there in Hong Kong, with the difference being that there isn't plots of land separating places, which is why I feel it's important that the United States remain united, because it's all one big plot of land, as opposed to many of these other regions of these other places who have their protests and riots for their independence, because you got your hand in our pockets and you're taxing us for what? It's just sort of the same reason why the UK voted to leave the European Union through Brexit, because you have your hands in our pockets for what? When we feel like we can go and negotiate better for ourselves, So, hey, if that's what the people of Catalonia want. These aren't my homes. I don't know these people, but I do find it interesting when people take arms against their government and against their authority figures and say, hey, look, I'm tired of your bullshit. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and the like, not the biggest fans of your boy over here, but we ain't stressing that too much. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Should Catalonia just bend the knee, or do you think that they should be granted their independence, particularly if the people of that region want to be independent? I don't know. I'm all for it, but you may not be, and that's what my comments are for. And until the next one.